Hey, shalom, shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah to the Akim. Yahweh Shemar Latham Bahashem Yahweh Shah to the Akwaki. All
Shalom,
right.
Yabashim Yahshua Barakatah, sir.
Yabashim Yashabakata.
All right, now we got that out the way. Let me check a couple things out and we can get right up into this little discussion of MLK, man. Waju, what say ye? MLK, man. Hero or sellout?
Definitely, you know, the UPK stands as he a sellout for sure.
All
Sellout
day.
for in fact, again, like I said before and have said in the past, he is one of the main reasons that we in the condition that we in today.
Right.
He is one of the biggest factors. He played one of the biggest roles in that. I don't think they would have been. I don't think the enemy or the oppressor would have been able to execute the game plan that they had so successfully without his help.
Yeah, I about to say, man. Today we got Katab, officer of 500, soon to be priest in
I'm Lord Christ,
500.
Damn right.
Feel free to chime in at any time, man. I know Elijah, one of them deep brothers, so man, don't let him scare you away from putting in your input up.
Kind of what kind, sir. Kind of what kind.
All right, so with that being said, man, hey, one thing, man, that I like to ask people though, even when they want to stand and vouch for MLK or whatever, I simply ask them, if I was to come to you, right? Common sense question. If I was to come to you and say, yo, come roll with me, man. We about to go get beat on, spit on, sprayed with high power water hoses. Dogs gonna get sick on us. But once it's all over, we gonna get to sit down with white people and eat next to them. You would look at me like I was a damn fool. Ain't no way in hell you finna roll me to go get beat on, spit on, and all that just to sit next to somebody, just to spend your dollars with them. You know what I mean? You got the mom and pop stores down the street, the restaurants down the street, everything black owned right in your own neighborhood. It was segregated. And we was doing well. It might not have been as fancy as you might have wanted, but we didn't care. We was making it. You know what I mean?
Kind.
So even with that being said, man, it's a common sense thing that it's not something that we should have fallen for. You know what I mean? There are people in the people that just go get punched and beat on by nobody. We human. Don't nobody want that type of torture. What's so great about sitting next to a white man or a white woman or Slakia, Edomite man or Edomite woman to eat or to drink out their water fountains? What's so great about that? You know what I mean?
Kind.
So really, it's a common sense thing once you look at it before you even get into the history and the knowledge of it all.
On the other side of that common sense thing, the way you broke it down is just like it's an ever clear self-hatred to your own people. It's just like, well, damn, you want to sit next to the oppressor so bad. You want to eat in their kitchen. Like you said, when your auntie, your sister, your grandmother, they got a store right down the street cooking fried chicken, but we'd rather go to Popeyes and patronize them.
Right.
Because that's self-hatred to your own people. You idolizing somebody that doesn't give two cents about you.
Right. It's like it ain't good enough in our own neighborhood. That black brother that's just starting out and he can't afford for his restaurant to look like Benihana's, or he can't afford for his restaurant to look like, what's another one? To look like what's the one with the steaks? What's a Black Rock? You know what I'm saying? His restaurant just looked like a place with a countertop, a couple chairs. The chairs might be ripped with the cushion showing, but the food is gonna be fire.
Right.
Yeah, he do his salt like this. The brother seasoned it. You know what I mean? He seasoned that meat. So it was something they can't compare with skill wise, but they just had the financial backings that we didn't have. Now, had we kept going and we supported black owned, imagine the black communities today, where your children don't go and work for the oppressor. They don't go and your children have to grow up to get good jobs. They're gonna continue on in your business. Your oldest son is gonna take care of his family by running your business. He's gonna hire his people. You know what I mean? It wouldn't no what was it, affirmative action when they have to hire at least so many minorities into their job. We wouldn't need that because we would have our own businesses, man. Have our own business. Now our children got to work for their children. Their school system change. That hands-on process that most black girls, and when I say black, that goes for black, native, and Hispanic people all together for those who are listening and new to us saying black. But at the end of the day, man, imagine your children not needing to fill out one job application. You know what I'm saying? They go out and they do their own thing. They continue on your business and build on to it. They brothers and sisters in the neighborhood are not in competition over a small job. Arabs is not running your neighborhood. Chinese is not running your neighborhoods. You understand? So with that being said, man, it just was a common sense thing for us never to deal with them.
Kind of, sir. Then even with that, sir, it made it so easy. Once we integrated with them, it made it so much easier for them to slip in and do the things that they wanted to do to further our destruction.
Right.
Nothing joining them never helped us in no kind of way. Doing anything with the oppressor has never helped us in any kind of way. From then to now, it hasn't benefited us. It just was something. That's why Psalms 55:21 say something so great. It say his words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
War was in
his heart. It sounds so good. Everybody come together. It'll be jobs for to show you how tricked we was. It was people selling their businesses to go actually work for the so-called oppressor. That show you that's how tricked we was. Nobody thought to build their own business up or build their own up. The only thing we were seeing was going to be up under the oppressor, but we didn't see that was our destruction and building and also building them up and not ourselves.
Damn right. It's lucky I might be having to trying to make sure I don't have a connection issue. Okay, it's too obvious. It's doing this thing. All right, I had to make sure. Man, Jackson got the viewers, man. What you doing out there watching, man? Why you got so many viewers, man? They coming in and out.
That's you, sir.
I need that secret, brother.
Most High in Christ.
Most High in Christ, man. But yeah, let me share this too. Share this to Facebook, man. If y'all can do the same thing. But yeah, man. Give me that scripture in Jeremiah too, man. Let's go over that. You got to go over that, man. I'm going to tell you what this nut on Facebook said. He asked me, was the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech the living waters?
Whoa.
You got that? You got that, Katab?
Jeremiah what?
The dreams.
Yeah, it should be like Jeremiah 23, 25, I believe. The prophet that have dreams, or that dream that tells a dream. Let him tell a dream.
I'm about to get it, sir.
You said 23 and 25?
Yeah, 23 and 25. It might be like that. So it's somewhere around there for sure.
Okay, Connor, 25. Connor, sir.
I got it. Read Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophet lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed.
He said, this is the Most High said, I have heard, which means he heard it. That was a hell of a speech he gave. It was just worldwide when he gave the speech. So much so that the Most High said, I have heard what the prophet said. Go ahead.
That prophesy lies in my name.
That prophesy
saying what? Lies in my name.
Prophesy the truth.
lies in my
The words of
name.
the Most High in His name. He said, "I have prophesied lies." He had prophesied
I
lies.
have.
So, with that being said, man, even the Most High called it a lie. So, how could some goofy Hebrew, some goofy Israelite think that this was living waters? If it said he had prophesied lies in
Right.
my name, go ahead, Katab.
Kind of Wakai, saying, I have dreamed. I have dreamed.
Saying what?
How I have dreamed. I have dreamed.
I have a dream. Is that not him? Is
Kind
that
of
not the
Wakai,
false prophet who gave that false speech? There's not the Most High in the
Wakai.
of the Bible of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob teach separation. He said we shall be a holy people, right? It's all through the Bible. You can't know the Bible. It's all through the Bible. He said a holy people. The Most High is a separatist. You forgot what he did to the Tower of Babel? You forgot when he confounded the languages? So how in the hell could that be living waters? Go ahead.
Kind of Wakai. Verse 26. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
Right. Keep going.
that Salaki, sir, if I could just comment right quick. That come together, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said with that come together. Even when the Most High created the world, He separated the lands. This land was for this nation of people. This land was for this nation of people. He never intended for us to come together. So anybody saying that we should come together, you know the Most High not with them. And the proof of how destroyed we really are is the brother that you was talking about. He don't even see how destroyed we are and how it destroyed us. And that's directly through Martin Luther King and Christianity. Salakia, sir, that's all I wanted to say.
Hey, I see you, Katab, looking at that little banner I threw up there. I should be home with the truth.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, man. Awaja, I had sent you a link. I believe it's go ahead, read from not the Wikipedia one. Go ahead, read the Wikipedia one, man. It's a few things I wanted to bring up out of that.
Okay. Okay, this is from Wikipedia. It say black-owned businesses. Okay, it says black-owned businesses, also known as African-American business, originated in the days of slavery before 1865.
Now listen, this is coming post-slavery. It says in the days of slavery. But you know, you really, as a black man in slavery, you couldn't really have a business. You damn near can't have it now. But this is even during slavery. Go ahead.
Emancipation and civil rights permitted businessmen to operate inside the American legal structure starting in the Reconstruction area between 1863 and 77. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, by the 1890s, thousands of small businesses operated. Thousands of small business operations had opened in urban areas.
Now it's telling you that thousands post-slavery, thousands of small businesses was operating. Thousands post-slavery. This is the 18 something. So that makes it what, 1900s?
Yeah, the
1900s. The late 1900s is thousands of these small businesses operating. Go ahead.
The most rapid growth came in the early 20th century as the increasingly rigid Jim Crow system of segregation moved urban blacks into a community large enough to support a black establishment. The National Negro Business League, which Booker T. Washington, college president, promoted, opened over 600 chapters. It reached every city with a significant black population.
So they pushing it out. It's going out into all these black populations. You know what I'm saying?
Khan.
It's going out into all of them.
Khan.
So it's thousands of them. Now it's reaching out into all. It's reaching out like tree branches. Is how it's flourishing out. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. African Americans have.
No, so like I thought you had something you wanted to say.
Khan. I was going to say, and it just show you. Look how it flourished, and it was because we were separated, which allowed him to just target our specific areas.
Right.
So we was able to really flourish by being away. While they make it seem like we was suffering without them, really we was flourishing being away from them.
Exactly. And if you pay attention to it, we still separated.
When
we integrate at work. We're there at the board meetings. And we at the staff meeting. You know what I'm saying? We on the lines and sweeping the floors and all of that. They walking around in suits and we walking around with oil stains. You know what I mean?
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? So we end up at the bottom every time we integrate. But if you look at it, we still segregated. Here in Detroit, you got Dearborn, that's mostly Arabs. You have the Arab community. They might integrate in the suburbs, but we are segregated out here in the trenches, what they want to call urban, what we would call the hood. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't holding hands with them. We ain't holding hands with nothing. We holding the tools, doing all the work. We holding the money and living in the benefits of it all. Go ahead.
African Americans have operated virtually every kind of company, but some of the most prominent black-owned businesses have been insurance companies. Banks.
So it's black-owned insurance companies.
Damn,
go ahead.
So has been insurance companies, banks, recording labels, funeral parlors.
Hold up. The recording labels. The recording labels. But look at it now. It's mostly white people. It's mostly the Jewish running these recording labels. They pick and choose what they want to put out in our music. Murder, kill your brother. Slick Rick and all of them was battling in the Bronx. They weren't killing each other. You know what I'm saying? They was telling stories, but ever since they've been exploiting our music, it's been hell. All they want to do is hear about us selling dope and killing each other, but you won't hear no Jewish music about them selling dope or killing each other. So yeah, go ahead, read on.
Funeral parlors, barbershops, beauty salons, restaurants, soul food restaurants, record stores, and bookstores.
And notice it said restaurants and soul food restaurants. You could have got your Taco Bell. It just would have been in their restaurant. You got your church's chicken. You got better food. When it say soul food, that means a sister that put her foot in it, or a brother that can throw down in the kitchen has put his foot in it.
That's
you know what I mean? When we want soul food, you don't go to no air for no damn soul food.
That's right.
One time I was in Westland, man. For those who don't know, who ain't from Detroit, I went to away from Michigan. I went to Westland and asked for a wing ding dinner. She gave me a buttermilk breast. It was fucking disgusting. it was disgusting. I was pissed. I'm like, these are not wing dings. This is not a wing ding dinner. This is a buttermilk dinner, and I don't want it. You know what I mean? She was so lost. She kept saying chicken. I'm like, yes, wing ding dinner, chicken. Yes, wing ding. The wing ding. That's what I want. Give me wing dings and the dinner, which means it comes with fries and some type of bread.
Which is so heavy, because this just tapping into what I was saying. We was doing it because we were doing these things, and it wasn't just in one area. Like you said, they had it set up from the top to the bottom where it was spread through all areas, were all black populated areas. So it wasn't just like it was just in, let's say, Chicago, for example. It's in Chicago, Harlem, Detroit, wherever it's black people at. We never needed to unite and have integration. We never needed it. Never needed it.
Right.
What's so heavy about integration? What's so heavy about that idea is it's almost like the white man had to, like they're not as smart enough to understand what they got themselves into when they so-called emancipated us. It was because they forced, like the hatred that we had for them at that time was so great. We did not initially want to go sit down with them. So it almost forced us to spend money within our own communities. Like they were still catching niggas and lynching them. So it wasn't like we had options. So it was like, oh, they created this hatred that kept us together and we flourished together. And then they saw it like, oh shit, we're in this depression now. We barely have food to eat. And that Rosewood over there, it's thriving because we didn't need them. We knew how to grow food, cook, clean, everything that we need. And then they had the opportunity to infiltrate by gifts, giving gifts to certain people that sold out their community, you know?
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, because he got a hell of a gift, man. They didn't erect his statues and everything.
Man,
you know what I mean? And it just don't make no sense, man. Like, we praise coons, and it just don't make no sense. We praise the of our people. You know what I'm saying? Like Jeezy, man, hell of a rapper, man. We all used to bump his music and ride to it. Well, I know y'all too, man. I don't know. I know. I done rode all the way to Chicago with this brother. Katab, he don't listen to that, man. That brother he do not like mainstream music. But at the end of the day, man, we listen to Jeezy. And it's okay to listen to rap music, man, but understand how to separate yourself from it. If you don't listen to Jeezy, man, don't go out and think you finna sell dope and be rich and not get punishment for it. It's evil that affects you behind your sins, man. But go ahead, read on and watch.
Kind, sir. By the 1920s, there were tens of thousands of black businesses.
By the 1920s, it was how many? Tens of thousands. Tens of thousands of black businesses. Read on.
The great majority of them quite small. The largest were insurance companies. Mm-hmm. The league had grown so large that it supported numerous offshoots, serving bankers, publishers, lawyers, funeral directors, realtors, retailers, and insurance agency. The Great Depression of 1920 through 39 was a serious blow as cash income fell in the black community because of the very high unemployment and many smaller businesses closed down.
Wait, take it back a little bit. It said by the 10th, we had lost Qatar for a minute. It said by Qatar, can you hear us?
Kind, sir.
Okay, take it back a little bit. It said by the tens of thousands. Go ahead.
Okay, kind.
Salakia, I know I kind of.
By 1920.
By the 1920s.
By 1920, there were tens of thousands of black businesses. Mm. The great majority of them quite small. The largest were insurance companies.
Okay.
The league had grown so large that it supported numerous offshoots, serving bankers, publishers, lawyers, funeral directors, retailers, and insurance agency. An insurance agency, Salakia.
The Great Depression. Why did they teach us this in our history classes, man? We was really doing the damn thing, man. We was literally building our own nation, man. I just read one of the brothers on Facebook make a heavy point. He said, if you leave a child alone for about 2 or 3 hours, they will build a civilization. They'll build their own little civilization in the living room. And it's going to be a functional. They're going to make them, only thing they're going to leave out is food. They might just have their crackers and juice in there. You know what I mean? So they're going to build their own civilization. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to come over here, and it's going to be one that runs the rest of the kids. You always notice there's one in charge of the little castle that they build. One of them got their areas, and one of them got their areas. They say, don't come over here to my area. Or you can come over here to my area. They form partnerships. They form rivalries. They form brotherhood, sisterhood. They show each other how to build it. And they build it. You know what I'm saying? They form civilizations in 3 hours. But in all reality, as adults, they can imagine what those children would grow up to do once they really learn to build things. It's just natural. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear them talking about other nations. They worry about the people that's right there in the living room. You know what I mean? It's right there. They ain't coming in my room getting me. It's the people right there in the living room. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's really heavy too, because even a child's mind knows that you have to build your own civilization. They're not worried about what's going on outside. They building their own civilization. But here it is that we follow this guy and he wants us to join somebody else's civilization that's never been civilized. We have to join their civilization and then fight for civil rights. Why do you have to fight somebody to be civil with you? It makes no sense. You have to fight them for equal rights. Why are you fighting somebody for something equal when you are above them? You know what I mean? But go ahead, read on.
The Great Depression of 1929 through 39 was a serious blow as cash income fell in the Black community because of very high unemployment. And many smaller businesses closed down. During World War II, many employees and owners switched over to higher paying jobs in mortician factories. Black businessmen generally were more conservative elements were more conservative elements of their community, but the typical did support the civil rights movement.
Okay, so it said they had the Great Depression, and a lot of businesses fell off because the money wasn't rolling in through the country. At this point, you had us surviving, but you had the oppressing nation. They was jumping out of windows, committing suicide because they could not survive. They was not making it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a downfall for the whole country, right? Because the money wasn't rolling in the same. And so it's a point now where you see a lot of them being more conservative with their little neighborhood businesses. They keeping it going. And then you got those that wanted to go join the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement. Let's keep that in mind. This is what they're going to go join. Read on.
By the 1970s, federal programs to promote minority businesses actively provided new funding. Although the opening world of mainstream management and large corporations attracted a great deal of talent, Black entrepreneurs originally based in music and sports and diversified to build brand names that made for success in the advertisement and media world.
Okay, so at this time, the civil rights movement is in full bloom. I think it started in the 50s. It's in full bloom. And what they doing is they trying to so-called fund the Black community now. You know what I'm saying? They giving us funds. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they pushing us to spend our money with them. So that entertainment world, now they run that entertainment world. That sports world, now they run that sports world. You remember the Negro Leagues? They want to go to the major leagues now. You understand? Those businesses, our businesses remain small or not at all. They businesses flourished. Every name brand that somebody want to rock is another oppressor's name. The banks that you go to is the oppressor's name. You understand? And we wear their names happily after they funded us. Go ahead.
That was the end of that, sir.
Well, yeah, I was reading that, man. It was real heavy on how they was how it was being put out there, man. Like you had tens of thousands, we was making it, and then all of a sudden the Great Depression and the Civil Rights Movement came, and they went at it, man. They own the record labels now. All that music that we was dropping during the Harlem Renaissance, those paintings, they own it. So like I gotta take this call. Take it up.
And not only that, I'm sure they wasn't just giving us, like they try to make it seem like they was just giving us, let's just say grants or low income this or low income that. What was tied into us having to get those loans? What was tied into us to get the small business relief fund or whatever it was they was doing? They wasn't giving it free will, trying to build us up. Because when we go to the oppressor and get, just like anything, as you can even see it today, it's always something attached to that. Attached to that
you want to join in
to benefit them. It's never solely to benefit us. It just got the appearance to benefit us. But in the long run, it always benefit them and lead to our destruction in some kind of way, or keep us separated in some kind of way. It never does anything to join us and bring us together as a people. Slakia, go ahead, Katab.
No, I mean, you was hitting it on all marks, because it's interesting how
check your email. I just sent it to
honestly open your mouth and say that we're better off now than then. When the death rate, to me, is to say, like, the hatred that they showed towards us then and now, to me, is the same, but our actions are different. Like, back then, we at least stood up for ourselves. We joined together. Now we're making excuses to continue to join them. So it's like the whole quote unquote civil rights was just the bait and switch to, y'all doing fine without us. Y'all got all of these cities, this Thursday, y'all got these businesses. Y'all know how to live off the land and we don't. So we got to figure out how to get y'all back invested into the system that we're putting forward. So it's like they gotta put a couple people on a pedestal so we can say, oh, I want to be like that black guy. But that black guy, that one black guy, he's the coon. He's the sellout though.
Right.
And there go all of our morals. There go all of what we held on to, those values that kept us together, kept us strong. Now they're going out the window because
No, finish what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you was done.
Oh no, I was just saying, just to land it, all our values are going off the window because of they want what some other black guy was given. That black guy was given it to destroy his heart. Like, that gift was given to destroy his values, his morals.
Right. So he gave you one precept, but the precept I'm looking for is what the brother was saying in a nutshell is they use people like Martin Luther King, which is supposed to be our leaders being our protection to the people, but they languish. I just gave it to you right there. What's the precept I'm looking for? Read my mind.
Jeremiah 14:2.
Pull it. Yeah, right. They languish, man. They weak. Katab, give me the definition of languish. You know what I'm saying? Our leaders has failed us, man. They language. They are weak. They give in to the dollar, just like the Pharisees in the times of old, man. They giving in to that dollar, and they can care less. You know what I'm saying about their people, man. They don't give a damn, because guess what? The moment you come into the truth or the ISUPK, you know they false prophets. It's not a question in your mind whether they false prophets or not. We know they. You know what I'm saying? We got scriptures. We got people teaching us, and real leaders. We under Commander General Yohana.
Damn right.
Hyman, all the way down to Captain LeBon, to the man that's right above us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the truth here. You know what I'm saying? It's been passed down since 69, really before 69.
Damn right.
So you can't fool us. So the moment you come into the truth, we start to tear them down, man. We started to tear them brothers. We started to tear their whole system down. And the more the UPK grows, the more they're gonna be tearing down. I listened to the general say, he was teaching General Muhammad. He said, "You need us to be rich in our neighborhoods to be rich. Gucci has to be poor. Nike has to be poor. So same thing with the restaurants. Benny Hunter has to be poor. Awaja want to sell chicken and beer out of a restaurant. They love that out, by the way, chicken and beer. He want to do that, then guess what? Those Arabs in your neighborhood has to be poor. The poorer they are, the richer we are. You know what I'm saying? We are, the richer they are, because we love their names. We love to wear their names. It's funny right here. You see this at the bottom of the screen. Amawana, that's Hadar Yala's rib. They kick out clothes like it's nothing, man. And there's so many other people in the UPK kicking out clothes, and we support them. We love to go buy their clothes. You know what I'm saying? But right now, under the curse, he said we have to go to the oppressor and want of all things, which saddens me, man. But the day that I'm able to go shop and I buy everything Hadariado, everything Katab, everything from Awaja, I'm gonna be a happy man. You know what I'm saying? My dollar's gonna be black dollars. It'll never see a white dollar bill.
And what's crazy about that, sir, Salaki, if I may, is nowadays you hear people talking about buy black and buy black this and blah black and buy black that, and we should buy black. You hear that nowadays. I'm just talking about from people in the world. But nobody ever looks back at what got us into this predicament where we would even have to say something like that. Nobody looks back at that, which is what when you was talking about old boy saying the I have a dream speech was living water. He don't even look at that as being our destruction and why we have to say buy black. We should never have to say buy black because we never should have changed from buying black in the first place. We was already buying black. We was already there. It was no need for us to switch from that. Never. Other than the oppressor wanted his slaves back and he used Martin Luther King to do it.
Yep.
I don't understand why we celebrate this day.
And that's why I said every black business owner should despise this day. They should despise this man. You know what I'm saying? Because we wouldn't have to preach buy black or shop black or keep the black dollar going. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have to teach that, man. But yet we just go by what the school system said. And it's a fact that the school system's lie because they told you Christopher Columbus discovered America. Then at the same time told you his people are already here. You know what I'm saying? So we know they lie. We know who control what they teach and what we learn in these school systems. You know what I'm saying? We know it. So why do we continue to fall for it, man? Somebody that takes you and puts your people in bondage and then after that try to teach you. It's a clear setup, huh?
Kind of.
So, well, one of the things that stand out to me that's so heavy is just like we're hated when we speak such truths, but nobody else look at another race or another group of people and hold them at the same length as us, and they're separate. Like the Jewish people, they're separate from everybody else.
Exactly. That's
the
heavy.
Indians, the Muslims, they're separate from China. That's why you have Chinatown. Like they're separate. But when we talk it, it's just, oh, you guys are a hate group. You guys are preaching hate. But everybody else is doing it and they're thriving, and y'all don't say nothing to them. This is why people don't want to cross 8 Mile, because it's separate. They don't want to deal with the cops on the other side of 8 Mile. They don't want to go on Livonia and Dearborn and deal with the separatism and the racism over there. So they stay in Detroit. But when we say, hey, you need to stay around your people, oh, we're a hate group now. But everybody else does it. All the other groups do it, you know? I mean, we are that destroyed.
We are. Hey, Awaja, if you were finna add nothing, if you are, then go ahead before you do this. But then read that other link I sent you earlier.
Okay, I just had that Jeremiah 14:2 for you, sir.
Oh, read that.
Kana. Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. The word of the Lord, Salakia. Judah mourneth.
Judah what?
Judah mourneth.
Judah is in mourning right now, man. In mourning. We in a sad state. We are in mourning. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because we have to watch every other nation come here from some faraway land, and within a month they're above us. Whether it comes to the law or business, culture, anything, they are far above us. The Arabs come here, they got gas stations and liquor stores. How are they able to erect these things in our neighborhood before we can even get the price on the building? You know what I mean? Before you can find out that the building or the space for sale, they already buying it and building it up. You know what I'm saying? They already got the money to do this. Before we can even get to the point to open a beauty supply store, the Asians has already bought these properties coming from a land of afar. The Asians come here and they said, stop Asian hate, and pass the bill in less than a month. And what had they been through here? couldn't be half as much as us. We had hundreds of years of a head start. You understand? They got a country backing them. We came here with nothing. Nobody backing us. But some miserable leaders up until we got a leader. Up until we got Abba Bivens, the 7 heads, and to Commander General Yohana, we hadn't had a real leader. You understand? Right. So how is it that they're able to do this, man? It just makes no sense. Go ahead. It said Judith mourning. We are in mourning.
And the gates and the gates thereof languish.
I know both of you brothers know the answer to this question. What is the gate supposed to do for your property, your house?
It's supposed to protect, guard.
It's supposed to protect it. It's protection. You know what I'm saying? It's to keep people out your yard, off your property, from out of your house when they're not invited. The gates thereof language. You got that definition for me, Katab?
Khan, sir.
Read that for me.
Language of a person or thing living, lose a lack of vitality, grow weak or feeble, suffer for being forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situation.
Right. So basically, our leadership is weak. It has grown weak. It's pointless. We don't need them. We never needed them. What we need is a real leader. We need real leaders, like the generals of the ISUPK.
That's
the
right.
Captains of the ISUPK, the officers of the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? The future officers. We need these brothers to lead the people because we haven't had any real leadership. They can say what they want about the ISUPK. They can say we hate women. We know that's a lie. They can say we hate our people and we teach lies. We know that's a lie.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, we take our own dollars and put them into everything that we have to feed our people, to clothe our people, to go out and teach our people. We don't get paid to stand out on that street corner. That costs. That's blood, sweat, and tears out there. We built those signs. We took the time out the day to build that podium that we stand on. We took time out the day to call the nearest police station to get approved to stand there, and then we stand there all day just to teach you. And you walk past us, you don't bring us a cup of water, nor no hot cocoa when it's cold. You walk right past us as if we are not there. But that's you have made these Christian pastors rich, and they have done nothing but molest, rape, and rob and pillage the community. The most beautiful thing you will see in the ghetto is a liquor store and a church. That's it.
That's right.
The homes are poor. The people are poor. The streets are ragged. We have nothing, man. Our leadership has failed us up into the ISUPK. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. This is a twofold scripture. We are black. If you look at us from a high, you will see that we are black unto the ground. But we also at a sad and low state as well. We at a sad and low state, man. We don't get to enjoy nothing. You work 90% of your life, and by the time you're able to retire, it's about time to die. Your body has been run ragged. You cannot enjoy your youth. You have to work. You go to school, you leave school, you go to college, you leave college, you go right to work. And you work damn near for the rest of your life. And once you're done, all you want to do is sit there and relax for the first time in your life.
That's
right. You know what I'm saying? So you could drop that out, but that's what the brother Katab was bringing out was extremely heavy because it's facts and it's in the scriptures, man. It's in the scriptures.
Shout out to Wakai.
MLK is no different than any of these other leaders, man. Salakia for running away with it, man.
You too up, sir. You too up. Do your thing.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to add, man? Feel free, man. Anything you want to pull out, Katab? I know Waja, he gonna do his thing, man. I know you knew.
Khan, sir.
But anything you want to say, just go ahead and jump on in there. Hit us with it. But meanwhile, Katab, grab that other
I got it, sir. I'm already there.
Whenever you're ready, read on.
Okay. This is from the Washington Monthly. The decline of the black business. It reads, at the new National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C., a hallway of glass display, a hallway A hallway of glass displays cases featuring more than a century of black entrepreneurs, triumphs and entrepreneur triumphs. In one is a World War II era mini parachute manufactured by the black-owned Pacific Parachute Company.
You hear the intelligence of our people? We gonna get it by any means. During the World War, what did it say? World War II.
World War II,
During the World War II, when they was jumping out of planes to go to war, guess who was manufacturing the parachutes? That was a black-owned company, man. This is what we doing. Read on. Oh, hold up. We might got the mighty priest in here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him in here. You got yourself muted, God, if you can hear me.
And Salaki, if I may, that just go to show you, because you never hear about stuff like that. You don't hear about the insurance company, the parachute company. You might hear about the restaurants, maybe a movie theater, but you don't hear about the doctors, the lawyers, and they never teach us none of this stuff in Black history when I was in school, at least. I know I never learned that we had our own parachute company, which go to show you, if we had our own parachute company, we had other companies that contribute to the war in World War II.
Right. And so much so, not that we say that we should have been contributing to that war because that war had nothing to do with us, but to keep it on subject of black-owned businesses, we made them to a point where we're going to thrive. They need these parachutes. You know what I'm saying? They needed our business. You know what I'm saying? You won't hear about it. But do you see a black parachute company today that's just thriving? You don't. You won't hear about it because we wanted to integrate, man. Our people, we have to fall in line under them in order to make money now, and that's the problem. What is this?
That's the problem. What kind?
I don't know what that is. But yeah, man, go ahead, read on.
Home to one of the nation's first racially integrated production plants. Another displayed a giant time clock from the R.H. Boyd Publishing Company. Among the earliest firms to print materials for black churches and schools. Although small, the exhibit recalls a now largely forgotten legacy.
Exactly. It's forgotten about, man. It's like it never existed. You will never hear about it, man, unless you go search for it. And it's all thanks to this integration, man. I'm telling you, like, us keeping separate and under our own is a beautiful thing because they're going to hear about the legacy. They're going to hear the real history of it all. You understand? That's why they say the winners of war control the history. They delete yours and make it whatever they want it to be. Instead of giving you your real history, man. Instead of giving you your actual history. So how are we celebrating this coon? I don't understand. Go ahead, you can read on if you ain't got nothing to add.
I was just gonna say that they make it hard to find, but they really wish they could just erase it all together. They don't want us having no knowledge of anything that we done except serve them.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all they want it to be, is us serving them. Slaki, that's all I wanted to say. Katab, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, just real quick. Like, the messed up thing is they understand our value more than we understand. Well, the masses of us understand our own value. Like, they literally need us. They need us. They're not gonna get out here and plow them fields. They're not gonna do none of that. So they gotta come up with trick after trap after trap to keep us in this situation or this matrix or however you want to word it. But this is the system that they built for their kingdom and their heaven, and this isn't ours. Like, we gotta understand that their kingdom ain't ours. We got to stop trying to live like them, be like them, because that is our death to the masses. We see one Jay-Z out there
and you feel like, oh, we're integrated, we're equal, we're accepted. But for every one Jay-Z, there's a million niggas just living in the alley. Like, is that your sacrifice? Is that your...
And the scriptures say, envy thou not thy oppressor. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
Say, envy thou not thy oppressor. It also
Yeah,
say,
right.
wait, Salaki, I'm trying to say the brother going. I ain't sure it's gonna let the brother come in. Katab, you seem like you the only one that can come in off that phone, man. Everybody else is having an issue. What kind of phone you got? Some type of special, expensive phone?
And I got an Android.
Oh, that's why it's working. Everybody else got iPhones. We got Android.
Well, I'm in here. I got an iPhone. I'm in here. I'm off my laptop though, so now y'all. Next time I'm gonna go live off my phone to see if it works. I'm gonna try to figure out the kinks of it. I really wanted to get Mashah in here, man. That's Mashah who trying to load in right there. I really want that brother in here for real.
Man, buddy, Mashah coming in. Woo!
Man, I and the brother that got so much knowledge because he come from a time where he can speak on experience. You know what I mean? He can speak on experience a little bit better than we can when we read these books, and he was there to experience it all. It's not much you could tell him. All right, yeah, he exited out. He having some type of issue, man. I'm gonna give him a call. But yeah, go ahead, read on what you had. Slocky.
By serving their communities when others wouldn't. Black-owned independent businesses provided avenues of upward mobility for generations of Black Americans.
For generations. You know, like, if you just listen to what he's saying, man, it's telling you, like, it's telling you the same thing we telling you, man. These businesses is providing business for generations to come. It's gonna be a point in time where we can actually grow up to work for our mom and pop stores. We can work for dad's store. We can work for mom's restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, these times were supposed to come, but they failed because we wanted to integrate. Like, I don't understand what we needed to integrate for. It made no sense. It makes zero sense to want to be amongst the people so bad. That's why the Bible is so profound and prophetic and amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you can hear these scriptures as a Black, Native, Hispanic and pass it up. It said, envy thou not thy oppressor. If it was no envy and we didn't have false prophets like MLK, man, imagine what we would be as a people. Tens of thousands of businesses post-slavery. We getting money. We setting up businesses, banks, and all of that. Oh, wait. I think it didn't let the brother in. Mashah? Can you hear me, Mashah? I went back to load.
It's Salakia, sir. Not only that, you know what else this article proved? This proved that they was watching us very, very carefully. And that's what makes Psalms 83 heavy when they say they took crafty counsel. They was watching and observing us and came up with a way to destroy us. It's like I think
Mashah talking?
I thought that was Mashah. I thought I heard him.
Mashah, can you hear me out? Your mic muted. Unmute yourself. Damn, he lost connection. But yeah, man, it's lucky they had cut you off. I thought I heard him. I thought I heard him too. But yeah, man, that article is a heavy one, exactly, man, because it's giving you the rundown of how we didn't need them. It's giving you the rundown how our businesses was setting the way for other Black entrepreneurs, man. And we had to take Black dollars and make them white dollars, to make them Arab dollars. It was a nightmare for America. And I'm going to tell you what else this nut said. In order to combat me, he said Martin Luther King made it to where we can make good wages. He said to where we can make good wages. I mean, I said, so you don't want to own your own? You want to go work and help build up somebody else's, another nation of people? He said, well, I own my own business. And I realized I'm talking to a Israelite that's selfish and fucking disgusting. Salakia for my life.
Salakia, I didn't mean to laugh at the brother, man. The brother is just a lost brother. Salakia for laughing at the brother.
Completely lost. The brother is completely lost, and he's disgusting and selfish. He don't care about his people. For him to say, "Well, I own my own business," but yeah, he watched so many of his people lose theirs, and he's okay with that. And also to combat me, he brought up the saying of Martin Luther King when he said, "I think I may have integrated my people to a burning house." I said, you don't even know how you just cut yourself and prove my point. You mean to tell me you want to honor that mistake? No, we learn from the mistakes in the ISUPK.
Damn right.
You going to march for civil rights is insane. It's insanity. Insanity is when you keep trying something over and over and getting the same outcome. You keep marching, it's not helping.
Same out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense. Why would you honor his mistakes instead of honor the success of a people? The ISUPK has had nothing but success, but you don't honor us. You wouldn't have became a Israelite. That is so dishonorable. So dishonorable. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't come and fall in line. That shows how you look at your people. You don't care. You see brothers out here doing something, you want to go create something that's similar to it, but in the pose of those brothers, instead of joining with your brothers. And it's ridiculous, man. Come on, Fatah, been through something.
Yeah, that's that self-hatred that's coming back around, because when you make the comment that he made it so we can make the good wages that we making now, and it's just like, do you understand what price that came with? Like, people are they excited to have a job at Christ or whatnot, but you get that job, they own you. They tell you when to work, how long you got to work. Like, those aren't the gifts. Like, they got us working on the Most High Holy Day. Man, that ain't the gift that we need. That's keeping us in the deplorable state that we're in now. Because we're not following these laws. We're selling out for a dollar amount. And like you said, Adonai, yeah, he is selfish. He wasn't thinking about the community in a whole. He's thinking about himself, the individual, like, or how can I come up? How can I get better? That's what he's thinking about.
And we learn that type of mind frame from people like Martin Luther King, from Christianity. It teaches us how to always be separate and individual and nothing about coming together. Because what? Just like we know the scriptures and know who we are, so do our oppressor.
Right.
So he just uses these are the tools that he used to separate us. And he just found one of the greatest tools he can ever find to keep us divided and separated. And they worship Martin Luther King as if he a God, as if he's somebody who does something so righteous. And Christianity just is, he's just a branch of the Christianity tree that always lead to our destruction, which is why Christianity is so poison to our people. This is the proof. He the proof.
Damn right. Damn right. And what's crazy is, man, people will argue this down. They gave this brother a statue. In America, you know you had to do something for America for them to give you a statue. It had to be for America. You ain't getting a statue for helping Black, Native, and Hispanic people, man.
You had to kill a lot of people to get a statue. Salakia.
Salakia, what you say,
I said you had to kill a lot of Negroes to get a statue.
Man, you had to kill him, or just put him in a position, or make America so much money.
Right.
People love to talk about the Rothschilds and the Illuminati until you look up and see MLK in pictures with him. Man, let me see if I can find a picture. You know what? I have to play with it for a minute to even show the picture, actually.
If you would have been helping your people, they would have found some way to vilify you, to say how much he was against. In other words, in their words, we would have been a troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What the scripture say? Find me the scripture with Christ. No, you ain't got to find. I'm going to paraphrase it. Christ said, ye know. So you got to do it, because I'm going to paraphrase it so horribly. But you going to know what I mean. Find the scripture for me where Christ said they hate you because they first hated me. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't want to butcher the scripture so horribly. So, like, we finna take a quick 30-second break. Hold on for a second. Find that scripture for me. Shalom, we back. The brother ain't back. We're gonna give him another 30 seconds. Salaki. Oh, there you go. All right, he back. I seen the beard first. I mean, that beard, man. Every time I see your beard, it's like I think of a villain, man, off of like a cartoon or something.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like a little mad scientist beard, man.
I got that evil dude, that evil guy beard. I'm the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy.
Yeah, man, you got that evil guy beard, but I always think that every time I see you, man. The whole time we was playing chess together, I was looking at your beard. That's what made me. I feel like I had to win. Yeah, I can't let the villain win, man. But yeah,
I got a quick scripture to bring out if I could. This is Isaiah 56 and 10.
You said Isaiah. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna let you break it down. And you said it's Isaiah 56 and 10.
Kind of, sir.
All right, Isaiah. Wait, Salaki. Waja, did you ever get that scripture for me?
Con, sir.
Let me run through this, and I'm gonna give you Isaiah 56 and 10. All right,
Kind.
All right, go ahead, Waja.
John chapter 15, verse 18.
Go ahead.
If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
So if the world hates you, which we all experience coming into the truth, man. All that lovey-dovey unity camp, look at the fringes, all that stuff that y'all be doing, these fake camps and fake Israelites, man, that is not real. When you come into the truth, they hate you. Your family hates you. The people hate you. They're not comfortable with you around. They liked you better when you was smoking weed and doing crack.
Right.
They liked you better when you was a homosexual. They liked you better when you was nothing at all. A bare shadow of a man, they liked you better. A whore of a woman, they liked you better. But when you come here, they hate you. They say, you think you better than everybody else. And they have to remind you of your evils in the world. And you have to remind them that person is dead. You understand? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 19. If ye were of the world, the world would love his own.
Like I just said, they loved you when you was of the world. When you was of the world, you was smoking heavy blunts, big blunts. You was a drunkard. When you was of the world, you turned your women into whores, your sisters into whores when you was of the world. Likewise, they loved her. They loved that sister better when she was a whore. The brothers loved her when they could just call her up and everybody treat her like she was nothing. Treated her like a bus stop. You're in it when you need to be in it, and you're gone when you need to be gone. You understand? They loved you then. Go on. Wait, man, we got the brother. We got the brother. He didn't hit the school. He yelling. Look at him. Already ready, man.
Yeah, right.
We done got him in there. Look, he said that phone wasn't working. He got to the school. That's how heavy that brother is, man. Hey, Mashai, at any given time you want to jump into this discussion, you know what to do, man. You know what? If you want us to, man, we could give you a bigger screen and kick Katab out. You ain't even got to see a piece.
That's a heavy brother.
Go ahead, finish that scripture for me, y'all.
Sir. But because you are not of the world,
because you are not one of them, because you are not a sinner, because they can no longer understand you, because you're no longer as disgusting as they want you to be. Read on.
But I have chosen you out of the world.
But the Most High God has chosen you. That's how special and above that filth that you used to be, you are now. You are above that thing, man. You no longer want to be a whore. You no longer desire to give your body away to just anybody. The person who you give your body to is the person you're going to give it to for the rest of your life. Likewise with men. You understand? Read on.
Therefore, the world hateth you.
Therefore, they hate you. You can't blend with them. You don't mix with them. They don't want to mix with you. You mean you ain't smoking here? You ain't taking this blunt? Oh man, well, I don't even know why you came here. I got a wise counsel when I first came into the truth when I was smoking, man. They told me that you gonna notice that those people that you used to be with in the world ain't gonna want to hang with you. They ain't gonna desire to be around you no more because y'all demons no longer match. You don't have those same demons no more. That love affair that y'all had was just like, wasn't between you and that brother or you and that sister. It was the demons that y'all shared that had a love affair with each other, that attracted each other.
Damn
That's why you come into the truth and y'all no longer friends no more. You don't get as many phone calls. Y'all don't hang as much because y'all demons don't match. You understand?
Right.
That's why I said, now that you're not of the world, they won't love you. They will hate you because you killing their fun. You making their demons feel some type of shame, and they don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
It's going to enable their demons, nurture their demons, and you ain't doing that. The moment they say Happy MLK Day, if y'all anything like me, you shoot a big insult back. I had to tell my friend. She called me talking about Happy MLK Day. I said Happy Big Stud Day.
Damn.
Because she cut all her hair off like a stud. And she was so insulted, and she just was like, dang, I was just joking. I said, I was too. But you see how insulted you were? It's the same insult, man. Don't call me and tell me happy birthday because you felt like I should be thankful to be alive. This ain't the life I wanted to live. I want to live in my kingdom. This is torture. You understand? Don't tell me I should be thankful to be alive. In that case, why didn't you call me 3 months ago?
Right.
Why? Because you didn't care about me being alive then, according to you. Now it matters because this is the day I was born. But tomorrow I'm still going to be just as fucked up, Salakia, and you will not call me. I won't hear from you again until next year.
Damn right.
Yeah, man, that scripture. Hey, Mashab, man, you way behind. Martin Luther King, man. Prophet or sellout?
Sellout.
So say ye, man, what proof do you have that he is sellout?
The proof is that
you coming in a little low.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I get a little volume on here. That better? Bring it a little close. Get the microphone a little closer.
Y'all can hear him?
How's that?
Hey, what are you using? Like the school's camera?
I don't want con.
Ain't no way you can link the mics to it or no? Or those mics go through a certain program. I don't know how that works. Y'all too sophisticated out there. Detroit headquarters.
Hold on. Let me check something real quick.
Actually, I'm gonna get online and see how can I hear you online.
Okay. Hold on.
And if I can hear you on there, then we will.
It's a way I can turn the audio up because I am getting my test is showing a low volume. So let me see if I can increase the volume.
Okay, you know what? Online, I can't hear you, so you should be quiet if you can.
You can't hear me online?
Online, I can't hear you.
I don't want con. The proof the proof that Martin King is a sellout is that let's start with what his title was. When I was a child and we would introduce this man, he was taught us his name was the Right Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, which meant he was a preacher, that he went to school to learn and study the Bible.
Right, Catholicism.
You see, they say the Bible. They call them seminaries. Mm-hmm. And so he went to the seminary long enough to get a PhD supposedly in Bible study. And when you come into this truth, one of the first things I learned when I came into this truth is that the Most High didn't want us integrating with anyone.
Exactly.
That
Damn right.
Right.
we were supposed to be a people unto Him and unto ourselves. That was one of the very first things that I learned in the school. One of the first precepts was come out of her, my people.
Hold that for him.
Come out of her. That was one of the first precepts. But Martin King, in my lifetime, he taught us, and I'm paraphrasing, I can go down there real deep with you, but he taught us that if you cross 8 miles, nowadays if you cross 23 miles, then the water is going to be wetter over there. The grass is going to be greener and the ice is going to be colder. Martin King put it in our minds to integrate. Now, that takes us to Jeremiah 23. And the reason I say that is because if the Most High said way back in Deuteronomy and Leviticus, in the Torah, if he said, don't integrate, don't mix with these people, don't marry with them, don't kick it with them, destroy them all, just stay away from them, and only depend on me.
Damn right.
That's what he told us. But here comes this preacher in the 1960s, late 50s, 1960s, that say, hey, our salvation is in the brotherhood with the Edomite. Our salvation is in brotherhood with our oppressor.
Right.
What he did effectively would teach the people to go against the very scriptures he went to college for 6 years, 8 years to learn and study. They gave him a doctorate in theology. It's called a THD instead of a PhD. Okay. And yet with all of that studying, the best thing he could do is after the Montgomery bus boycott did his thing and set that racist bus company in that racist town on his heels, knocked them on their butt. Martin turned around and gave them the bus company back. The bus company was getting ready to go into receivership or into bankruptcy. And Martin said, okay, we got our point across, get back on the bus. And so all them little dimes and nickels we was giving to the local jitneys, to the local, I'm gonna be a cab, all of a sudden now we got this bus boycott going on. We took all them nickels and dimes and gave them back to that bus company, and they survived. And they survived. When they were on their deathbed, they was on death's doorstep because we stopped riding the bus.
Exactly. The power of the black dollar.
So I get one?
I said exactly the power of the black dollar. Go ahead.
Con. All Martin had to do was tell them, nah, wait 1 more month. Don't get on there for 1 more month, and we'll be able to buy the bus company. But that wasn't his interest in black people owning their own public mode of transportation. He was more interested in Martin's appetite, whatever that might have been, money, white women, orgies, whatever it might have been. Him and his comrades thought it was better, after proving that as a block of people, we can bring an entity of our oppressor to their knees, because that's what they did. He said, well, they're on their knees, that's good enough. Let's help them up. Let's raise them up and give them the bus company back. What that did was led to a slew of other, and I heard y'all, I've been watching y'all, a slew of other black businesses that was forced to be in existence because white folks wouldn't take our money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What Martin taught us was to do was to go out here and get bit by police dogs, have fire hoses turned on us, all for the interest of what? Taking black dollars and begging white folks to take them away from us.
Exactly.
And because he was a national leader, because he was backed by so many other sellouts, and a lot of people want to say that the majority of the people didn't ride with Martin. Well, we are what we are today because they did. Because they rode with Martin, right? Because he was such a great orator, we did exactly what he wanted them to do. And that's why now, if I was to take this camera outside and to walk through our neighborhoods, it looks like a third world country that's trying to come up from a war.
Hey, Salakia, if I can add, the ghetto outside is a third world country. We are a third world country, and we are at war with our own selves. You know what I'm saying? And then we got America doing what it does, is agging it on, and then joining in with their destruction as well. Hey, but Salakia, Katab, I see in the back chat, you said, can you bring me up again?
Oh, yeah. Officer Roger did.
What you mean, Brent? You've been up this whole time, huh?
No, he was out for a second.
It was just a split second.
I brought him back here.
Oh, brother, you gotta stop being so quiet, man. I thought you had been in here this whole time. We need to hear more from the officer of 500.
That's right. That's a heavy rank right there.
That's a heavy rank right there. I don't think he know. What's your next rank up after 500? Huh?
1,000.
Damn, how long you been here?
1,000.
How long you been in the
school? This is gonna be my 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years.
2 years. Damn, you hear that, Michelle? These brothers coming up quick. We gotta step it up, man. This brother finna have 1,000. I'm 1,000. Matter of fact, this brother gotta go again. All right, we finna keep going without him.
So like shot.
Go ahead.
You know, I've been trolling Clubhouse today just because it's supposedly MLK Day.
Yeah.
I've been trolling Clubhouse hard. In every room they let me speak, I flipped Martin King on his head. I couldn't help it because it's the truth. I couldn't help it because it's the truth. And when you look at him, somebody asked the question, well, towards the end of his life, he had started to wake up, and that's why he told his people, he said, I believe he told, what's that half white dude name? Harry
Belafonte.
Yeah, told him.
What's his name?
Harry Belafonte.
Eric Belafonte?
Harry.
Who?
Harry. Harry.
Oh, Harry.
Right.
Harry. Okay, of course it's Harry. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, he told him, well, I believe I've led my people into a burning building. The thing that stuck in my craw today is every channel I went to on Clubhouse, it was I call them MLK apologists. They were trying to justify the brother's existence beyond what he did. They wanted me to all of a sudden accept this brother because in the last 90 days of his life, somebody got him to see that he has sold our people out.
Right.
Now, here's another way you can tell those leaders sold you out. And not just him, that whole crew, the NAACP,
sir.
the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, even, what's that group down there? Southern Poverty Law Center has the ISUPK. If you go to their website and you put ISUPK in there, they go Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. They have us listed as a hate group. And the Southern Poverty Law Center is America's official ranking America takes their lead from them as far as hate groups go. Particularly, watch this, particularly black hate groups.
Okay.
See, all this is under the umbrella of MLK, Michael Luther King. You see what I'm saying? OG Mike, we call him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they call him Martin. We know his real name. We know he changed his name. I told a Israelite I told an Israelite today under my post. I'm like, man, listen, he's a second generation sellout. You honoring a second generation coon. His father went to Germany. He traveled the world trying to get everybody to join together. Ain't nobody talked about it. Ain't nobody cared or listened to it. He went over there in the break of Hitler destroying those Jewish people. They didn't care about what he was talking about. Didn't notice him then. Then he found some German to kneel in front of and blow the rod of this German, and then change his name because of some German, and then change his son name. Then I look into it a little bit deeper. Guess how old Michael Luther King Jr. was when he changed his name as well? When he crossed out his original name, Michael, and changed it to Martin. Guess how old he was?
It had to be
28. A grown-ass man. So he chose to be a sellout like his father. I thought he was a child when it happened. He was a grown man. And his father sold out, and the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. He sold out right behind the German and continued to try to integrate. It didn't work all over the world. Why? Because these other nations know better. They know it's a separation. They ain't trying to join with you. What they need to join with you for? They looking out for their own people. You understand? They don't need to join with you. But here you are trying to join your people with them. And then come back and talking about, I think I may have integrated my people into it. You a damn lie. You know you did.
Right.
You did.
You know exactly what you did.
You love white women. You was with Coretta because it looks better to be with a black woman when you're going through a civil rights movement.
Damn right.
You cannot be pro-black and you got a pro-white woman on your arm. You understand? It doesn't work like that. That's why he had to have Coretta Scott. You know what I'm saying? His whole thing was he was a poser. He changed his name because it sound better. It sound better than the name his mother originally gave him. But this white German, yeah, the name that they took after this heathen, that sound like success to them. They was coons, the father and the son.
I'm one Khan. If I could,
coons. Go ahead.
For those who don't know who Martin Luther was, you need to put him in Google. And Martin Luther was a German Catholic priest who fell out with the Catholic Church. And because in Germany at the time, they had a prince that was a big supporter of the Pope, Martin Luther decided, this is his most famous work, to run and nail 95 theses on the door of the castle of the prince, and I want to say at Edinburgh, but he put 95 theses of what was wrong with the Catholic Church, thus began the Protestant movement. That's why you have Protestants. He was part of it's called protest. They used to be called Protestants. And then, it sounds like, believe it or not, one of the black people, Salaki, I think that's that, Salaki. Go ahead.
We about to take a short break. 30 seconds out.
Come on, sir.
Katab, not 33 seconds, man. Have your beard back in the camera in these 30 seconds.
That was Salaki.
Shalom, we back, man. The beard back. Sean back. I'm gonna change that brother name to the beard.
That's a beard he got.
Nah.
It's lucky. I'm gonna stay in Wichita because his beard better. His beard more glorious than mine. I've been suffering. I've been trying to wait for this connection over here, man. It ain't happening in a lot of years. But that brother he got a signature beard, man. I think he had like a villain beard.
There's a villain.
What's going on?
Fu Man Qatar.
Huh?
Kind of Wakai, you know.
Right quick.
I got a couple gray streaks in it too, you know.
Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Cut it out. but if I could, let me get back on Dr. King.
Kind of Wakai.
Now he also, his influence, don't think he only was dealing with stuff that was in the media that was dealing with him up front. He was also, we lost your picture, Qatar. He also you're back. He also had great influence in other things. You know, he got to meet Thurgood Marshall. You know who Thurgood Marshall was, right? He was the first African American to argue in front of the Supreme Court. He was a lawyer. And what case made him famous? 1954 Brown versus the School Board of Topeka, where the Supreme Court determined that separate but equal was unconstitutional. Did y'all know that? Separate but equal was determined to be unconstitutional, and therefore they came up with this whole thing called busing. Let's bust the
this whole thing called what?
Busing.
Busing?
Busing.
Okay.
Now look how this fits together. Now this happened in 1954. The court ruled that separate but equal is unconstitutional, so therefore you need to send little black kids over to white schools and white kids over the black schools and mix it up. But they didn't do a damn thing with that, even after the Supreme Court determined it to be the law until when? After Martin Luther King came along. The first busings that took place in Michigan was around 1968, the same year that King was killed. They took us from one side of Inktown across Michigan Avenue to go to two schools over there. And they stopped letting us play basketball and made us play kickball. What the hell was kickball? We didn't know what kickball was in the hood. We played basketball, baseball, and football. That's what we played. We get over here to all the little white kids, and they're making us play kickball. But not only that, when they had them, what were them things we used to have in school? Field day.
Oh yeah, field day.
Field day. Let me tell you what white folks do at field day. They dance around the maypole, and if the biggest competition was square dancing.
The biggest competition was what?
Square dancing.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you, that's what. And the only reason I can tell you is because I got bussed. I got put on one of them buses at about 10 years old when I was in the 4th grade. You see what I'm saying? I got put on one of them buses, and all of a sudden we learning all of this white culture. And I'm bringing this up because Negroes and Jakes and Christians want to know what the hell is wrong with black people today. Well, Martin King opened the door for us to get bused when we were children into the white neighborhoods where white teachers and administrators and black teachers who were coons at the time did what? They inundated us. They brainwashed us with white culture. This is what's good. This is what's bad. Here's some things people don't point to when it comes to the civil rights movement. Prior to the civil rights movement, brothers could get out of high school and go and work for Ford. Did you know that? He leave high school and he can go directly and work for Ford, Chrysler, General Motors. He can start his own business, whatever he wanted to do. But during that whole time of the civil rights movement, the skills that the brother learned in school, it was called wood shop. It was called auto mechanics.
Yep.
It was called air conditioning and refrigeration. These were called some type of skill. I'm trying to think what they called it. But these were hands-on jobs. You could learn to weld while you was in high school. These were hands-on jobs, skilled labor jobs, right? Even today, I heard a fella talking about that sisters shouldn't open up their own hair braiding shops, but what they should do is go to college and become lawyers. I'm like, nigga, are you crazy?
Right.
We need our hair braided. You know how hard it is for me to get my hair braided just because I refuse to go to somebody outside of Israel? It's just,
Right.
It's super hard. Here in the Detroit school, it's super hard unless you know somebody. So why wouldn't we put that sister in business? You run down here, you run down here to Church's Chicken, run by the East Indians, right? That gets shut down every other week here in Detroit for some health reason. And yet you won't buy Sister Ruth's fried chicken and pinto bean. But you will spend your money at Church's Chicken because it's got a sign on it. If that's what you've been brainwashed to. That's what happened when they sent us into these white schools with these white teachers. What they did is they were able to take children. Even Hitler said this, give me a child before he turned 7 years old. And I might misquote him, but this is basically what he said. Give me a child before he turns 7 years old. And at 12, I'll give you a full-blown Nazi. Why? Because he understands that children only understand things that are. There's no right, no wrong, no gray area. No, we need to think about this. Children go with the thoughts of those who are in charge of them. So what happened? By the time they get in high school, they're convinced that they need to study politics, socioeconomics. They need to study this, study that all the time. But they don't need to study bricklaying. They don't need to study welding. They don't need to study carpentry. They don't need to study cement laying. They don't need to study gardening and farming, which is all absolutely necessary to sustain a people.
Damn right.
All that is absolutely necessary to sustain a people, if I could. But these are the very things that when they sent us to the white school, they breathed it out of us. They taught it out of us to even want those things. So come along the late 70s, the early 80s. What did you see happen in every black community in America? All those people with well-to-do jobs, because they now can afford it, and the legacy of Martin King lives on. They moved to West Bloomfield. They moved to Sterling Heights. They moved to Poughkeepsie. You know what I'm saying? They moved away from their own hoods. And what happened late 70s, early 80s, when all those youth police officers, nurses, teachers, principals, factory workers, big three factory workers, automotive workers, right? They left the neighborhood. And what did they take with them? They took with them examples of success and what any black boy particularly could be if he just applied himself. And what was left behind?
Salakia, let me cut you off for a second. And prime example of what you're talking about is my very own zone, Highland Park. Think about how Ford Motor Company and all them when they made Highland Park rich. If you ride through Highland Park, you see the biggest homes you will see. You see neighborhoods that's no longer what they used to be. They run down now. There's drug addicts going through them. Old businesses is closed down. Businesses is still functioning out of dilapidated buildings. You understand? Because they, exactly what Mashah is saying, they once had a culture that was rich because of these companies until those companies left. And now the whole city is up for sale.
Right.
But go ahead, Mashah. I had to add that in.
Khan, you're absolutely correct. I remember as a child, because my parents were not in the truth, every year, right after Thanksgiving, we would jump in my daddy's station wagon, because there was 6 kids, right? And you know what we would do? We would drive through Highland Park to see the Christmas lights right after Thanksgiving, because that was one of the richest areas in Detroit. When you drove through there, it was like driving through some luxury, oppressive owned community, because it was all Jews up in there, and they put a lot of money into them big. That's why them houses are so big, because they had a lot of money up in there. And then, and they'll tell you, somebody made a mistake and did what? They let a nigga buy a house in Highland Park. And what happened to all the white folks? They ran away. They abandoned Highland Park when the first black man, first black woman moved their family in, who had the money to move into Highland Park. And here's something we should pay attention to. I don't care where you work. I don't care what type of engineer you are, what type of lawyer you are, what type of doctor you are. Unless you in a really, really exclusive neighborhood, as soon as you move in there, well, in Detroit, I don't care if you are in an exclusive neighborhood. If you move into that neighborhood, white folks gonna put their houses up for sale because they don't want to live next to you.
Right.
It's as if they still understand that we are sheep herders.
Hey, Salakia, you remember that? I believe it was that movie. Why Do a Caged Bird Sing? Remember that? I think it had the newer version had Diddy in it.
I haven't seen the new one. What?
You
talking about? You talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about too.
It's not why the curtain.
Raising in the Sun.
Raising in the Sun is what it's
Raising in
called.
the Sun.
And remember they moved into that white neighborhood and they tried to buy him out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how, see, white folks don't want to be around us.
Man.
But white folks don't want to admit that they below us either. They would rather you live in their neighborhood and they kill you because they know there is not going to be any consequences in this world if they kill you, than to have you raise up your own neighborhood. And it looks way, it's the ISUPK. And we'll show you. If we can get the order to buy up this east side, let's say from Van Dyke to 8 Mile, and let's say from Gratiot to the river, and just the ISUPK bought that up, just by the way we naturally do things, this would become something way better than West Bloomfield. I don't know about any other rich places in Michigan, but I know West Bloomfield got Grosse Pointe, Iowa. It become way better than that. Why? Because while they got Sammy Davis still talking about hello Detroit, right? We got all the captains, Captain Akkad, the brother that made One West to the Death. We got the new brothers coming up, that we would take over the music industry out of Detroit.
Right.
Just that.
Right.
And then you got not just myself, but other brothers that are probably way better farmers than me, right?
Right.
We not gonna starve. And then you got brothers like yourselves that's always thinking, let's try this, let's do this. We would be the most innovative, and next thing they know, the east side of Detroit will be a whole new Black Wall Street.
Hey, Salakia, I am from the west side of Detroit.
Yeah, me too.
Give us some props, man. Y'all, I know everybody in this, most of the people in the school from the east side, man. We always have to have that battle. Hey, but tell me if y'all can see this right quick. Tell me if y'all can see this. I'm gonna try to share something.
Okay.
Let's say Detroit would be. Detroit is one of the blackest cities in America anyway, in the world. Detroit is one of the blackest cities in the world. They was talking about white folk stuff. You still bringing that up, Alaman?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna keep talking and just stop when it comes up.
Just let me know when you can see it.
No, that's not it right there. That's a whole
No,
bunch of
I'm
other
sharing
stuff.
my screen. What do you see
Oh,
right
there
now?
you go.
Con, I see it, sir.
Okay, you see this? It says, you know, this just goes to show, like Mashal, you said earlier, he came to realize earlier something about, and I was like something about when he said he
Man,
basically that he realized he was wrong later, but look how he tried to sugarcoat it and play it. And at the end, he attempts to even say he still tries to help America after he realized he have put his people into a deadly position. If I take you three brothers, Mashal, Awadia, and Katab, and integrate or move you into a burning house, I have just put your lives at stake, correct?
Con.
This brother said, you know, we struggle hard and long for the victories we have attained. Yet there is something that troubles me deeply. For all the civil rights and all the things we've done, I have come to believe that we are integrating into a burning house. We have no choice but to become firemen. Now give me Jacob is the world that follows, or Jacob is the kingdom that follows. Is that which follows.
you got that guitar? Why you?
Give me
Con,
that.
I'm gonna find it, sir.
Let me know.
Right here, I got a gold cap is outside. That's him for real. So I'll catch y'all later on. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom. The water for stopping by, sir. We appreciate your wisdom, sir. Thank you.
Damn right. I'm gonna go ahead and play this.
Oh man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out.
Can y'all hear that or no?
Con, I can hear it.
Second Ezra 6-9.
Second Ezra 6-9. I got it.
Kind of on time.
Oh, you got it? You got it, Katab?
Katab got it.
Okay, I got to give me 1 second. I'll pull it.
I had to stop sharing the screen.
I got it real quick.
Okay,
Go ahead and read that.
Chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is what?
The beginning of it that followeth.
Is the beginning of it which follows. Let their house burn. We do not have to become firemen and saved. That's that same Christian philosophy, trying to give them salvation. Let their house burn. That has nothing to do with us. Let it burn, baby, burn. Let their house burn to the ground till it's dust, and there's no more of their house. Period.
That's right.
Let them burn. Right. What the scriptures say? They are a fire in the stubble. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, Jacob was a fire. Pull that for me too. He was a flame in the stubble, to the stubble. You know what you know which one I'm talking about?
That's either in Isaiah or is that in Obadiah?
I believe it's in Isaiah. But yeah, man, let that house burn. There's no reason he said we should become firemen. Why in the hell do we need to become firemen? To save who? Them? What have they done? This brother has he was assassinated. Well, I don't want to say assassinated because that's when you supposedly killed when you somebody great. He was killed on a balcony, shot dead on a balcony.
I believe Obadiah.
The destruction that came from his dream, the coonery that came from his dream, I got it. What's the disease our people suffer from now?
COVID.
Not that.
When
you take it into slavery and begin to love the Stockholm
syndrome. Stockholm syndrome.
the Stockholm
Yeah,
syndrome
COVID.
his people
Goddamn.
suffer from, man, that he nourished that sickness in their mind. Go ahead and read that scripture.
Kind, sir. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 18.
Oh, it is in Obadiah. Okay, go ahead.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
We are that fire, Ak. Of course, they in the burning house. They're in the burning house right now. And that flame is who?
Us. Slakia. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph
the house of
a flame.
Jacob a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. If they in the burning house right now, we are that which is destroying America.
Damn right.
And don't think we saying that we out here killing or harming nobody. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are spiritual. We are that fire that's bringing them down. You understand? With that, man, we gonna go ahead and exit up out of here, man. We gonna say shalom, man, till we catch y'all next time. I appreciate y'all brothers for coming through.
Count the water, sir. No problem. Anytime.
Anytime, Adawan.